Good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you had a wonderful day. It's been cold last night. It's supposed to have gone down to 40, and the high yesterday was 72. Now, at noontime, I went outside, and it was about 72. But as the day went on, it got colder. And it was very cold. It was like, when I got off the bus, it was like 56 degrees. That was insane that it got that cold here in the middle of June. Whew. But I guess there were people that were paying attention because they had coats on. Heavy coats. I'm like, really? So, but, it's kind of funny to me. On the day we are talking about an Antichrist, Korihor, an atheist, I am being mocked by an atheist. I'm not going to say attacked because I don't want people to think that poor me syndrome. No, he is mocking me. And it's funny as heck. All right, so today we are doing Alma chapter 30. Korihor is now entering the picture. I believe this is the second Antichrist that we get to see. First it's Nahor, now it's Korihor. And their teachings are different, but they come from the same source, Lucifer. Now, Alma, or Mormon, starts off this chapter talking about the deaths that they've had, how they could not be numbered. And could you imagine so many people dead that you can't even number them? And now people are starting to observe, just keep the commandments of God. And then Mormon Mormon put down for Alma, Mormon is talking about the laws of the land. And there's this very specific reason, because the law of the land had no law against what a man could believe, what his religion can be. Remember, King Mosiah set up a somewhat democratic society where people voted for who they wanted, they voted for what they wanted, and made sure that everyone's freedom of religion was priority. And I love the fact that here in verse 8, he is quoting from Joshua. It says, "Choose ye this day whom ye will serve." Now, I'm going to read the full verse here in Joshua 24:15. "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether they the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." This is one of my favorite chapters in the Old Testament because it is very bold. It says, do what you want. Do it. But for my house, we'll worship God. We'll worship the Lord. Now, he continues talking about this. The belief they have that if he commits adultery, robs, death, steals, murders, all those things are punishable. So freedom of religion, got it. Now, he talks about a man named Korihor. Now, Korihor has an interesting name. It is Egyptian. Years ago, I was a part of farms, and there was a publication. I don't remember who it was, but he said the name Korihor means for Horus. So it's Korah meaning for, and Hor for Horus. So this is someone that's for Horus. That's what the name means. That doesn't mean that's who he is. Or what he believes. That's just who he is. But he was an antichrist. Or today we would call them atheists. And the atheists love to mock. They cannot back up what they're claiming, except for their own delusional little minds. But let's look at some of his teachings. So, he began to preach to the people, there is no Christ. Now, some of his teachings change as we listen to the ilk that he spews. So he says, you are bound down under a foolish and vain hope. He says, O ye that are bound down under a foolish and vain hope, why do you yoke yourselves with such foolish things? Why do you look for Christ? Today's atheists say, why do you look for Christ's second coming? There is none. It says, for no man can know of these things. That's basically what the atheists are saying now. They are after the order of Korihor. And he said, no man can know these things. And I'm like, well, actually we can. It says, O ye that are bound under a foolish and a vain hope, why do you yoke yourselves with such foolish things? They're not foolish. Those who don't understand will mock. They will call things foolish because they don't understand God's word. And then here in verse 14 he says, these things which ye call prophecies, and I'll skip a little, that are handed down by the prophets are foolish traditions by your fathers. He says, how do you know you're sure about this? You cannot know what you cannot see. That's atheists right there. I have ran across many atheists who say that if you can't use the five senses, then it's not believable. It must stand on the scientific method. Well, I'm sorry, but no. He says because we cannot see, therefore we cannot know that Christ exists. But the question is, we can't see a quark. It's impossible to see a quark. A quark is the smallest known thing in the universe. There's nothing smaller except for a string through M theory. Even those we cannot see. We do not, but yet people teach them as scientific fact. So it shows that you can believe in things that you can't see. Very interesting. All right. Now, he has some interesting things. He says, ye look forward and say that ye see a remission of your sins, but behold, this is funny, it is the effect of a frenzied mind. We hear the same thing in Acts. Let's go to Acts 26, 24 and 25. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doth make thee mad. For he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. So see, Festus here was calling Paul, basically saying that he had a frenzied mind, a mad mind, because he believed in these things, that we should receive a remission of sins. Korihor continues, this derangement of your mind comes from the traditions of your fathers. So believing the traditions of your fathers makes you crazy. Interesting. I'd like to see the scientific paper on that. Yeah, I would like that. He continued talking in this way. He says, telling there could be no atonement made for the sins of man. And that whatever a man does, now remember that Moroni or Mormon was talking about how there was laws set up, murder, adultery, thief, all those things were crimes. They could be punishable. But instead of calling them sin, which they are, he says, whatsoever a man doth was no crime. So if someone wanted to kill another man just because he felt like it, that's not a crime. Or sleep with another man's wife, that's not a crime. But yet we see earlier in the chapter that those things are a crime, are a sin. And he did this, and Korihor kept on doing this and teaching people all these things. And people started to believe, started to do all manners of sins and wickedness and whoredoms. And here's one of the teachings that atheists also do nowadays. He says, telling them that when a man was dead, that was the end of it. This is the same teachings. Christians, wake up. Right here, the Book of Mormon, and also with Nahor. These are teachings of Satan, that a man should pay for the time he gets preached. That there is no God. The Book of Mormon has shown that these people exist and will continue to exist. Now, Korihor decided to go over to Jershon, and these are the people of Ammon. Well, you can kind of guess how much success he had there. And he was bound by the people and brought before Ammon, who was the high priest over this people. It's kind of cool that he got to live among them. And he caused that Korihor should be escorted out of the land. Let's see here. Now he was taken and bound, carried before the high priest. And then Ammon, high priest, carried out of the land, went to Gideon, okay? And then the people in Gideon also bound him and brought him before the high priest there. And there was, now the high priest's name is Gideonha. And the high priest asked, 3 questions. Why do you go about perverting the ways of the Lord? Why do you teach this people that there will be no Christ to interrupt their rejoicings? In other words, why are you teaching them that there's no Christ and interrupt their happiness? And then finally he asks, why do you speak against all the prophecies of the holy prophets? And Korihor in response says, because I do not teach the foolish traditions of your fathers, and because I do not teach this people to bind. Therefore, bind themselves down under the foolish ordinances. Excuse me. Bind yourself with ancient traditions and all these things, it says. And it says to usurp power and authority over them, to keep them ignorant. And that's what atheists do. They say we're stupid. Well, actually, we're pretty smart. We just don't buy into the ways of the world. He says, you say that, he continues saying that you say this people is free. This people is a free people. But I say they are under bondage. This is what he's teaching. He says, you say that those prophecies are true. Behold, I say you do not know that they are true. Let me ask you guys a question. Ooh, hold on. No, that's embarrassing. All right. How do you know something in the gospel is true? If you're a Christian watching these, how do you know the things you know from the scriptures, as you see them, are true? How do you know? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. I know how I know things are true. but I'm curious what you have to say. And he continues, he says, and Korihor continues to say, there shall Christ, that you say also that Christ shall come. But I say that you do not know that there shall be a Christ. And you say also that he shall be slain for the sins of the world. Right here in verse 27, he says, and thus ye lead away the people after the foolish traditions of your fathers, according to your own desire, and ye keep them down, even as it were in bondage, that ye may glut yourselves with the labor of their hands, and they durst not look up with boldness, and that they may durst not enjoy their rights and privileges. He teaches them many other things. He says here, if they do not, according to their words, offend some being who they say is God, a being who never has been seen or known, who never has nor will be. So, in other words, he's saying, how you bind them down, thinking that the things they say, they do, are being offending a God that never has existed, does not exist, nor will he ever exist. I mean, people, these are the exact same things atheists are telling us. And when the high priest and the chief judge saw the hardness of his heart, that he reviled against God, they didn't make any reply to his words, because he was bound. They caused him that he should be bound and delivered up to the hands of the officers, and sent him to Zarahemla to be judged by Alma, the high priest of all the lands, and the chief judge who governed all the lands. And so it came to pass that he went forth, and in the same manner he did in the land of Gideon, he went on to blaspheme. And he continued the saying, and Alma, talking to him, said that notwithstanding the many laborers, he actually himself doesn't receive a single senine. Now, to talk about to understand about the coins, if you have just joined me, go read Alma chapter 11, verse 3, that talks about how much a judge receives. Or chapter 11 talks about the coinage of the Nephites. Excuse me. And so basically telling him that he, through his own labors, is how he's supported, that no one pays for him. Now, here comes some good questioning. Verse 35. And he says, why sayest thou that we preach unto this people to get gain? when thou of myself knowest that we receive no gain? And now, believest thou that we deceive this people, that causes such joy in their hearts? And Korihor says, yeah. Korihor's like, yeah, no, yeah. Alma asks him, now pay attention to these two next questions, because these are going to be important. He says, believest thou that there is a God? And Korihor's response is nay. Alma asks, will ye deny again that there is a God, and also deny Christ? For behold, I say unto you, I know there is a God, and also that Christ shall come. And Alma asks a question. He says, what evidence do you have that there is no God, or that Christ will not come? He says, it's only your word. He says, I have the testimony, all these things has a testimony that these things are true. And also, ye also have all things has a testimony unto you that they are true. And ye deny them? Believest thou these things are true? And Alma says, I know thou believest, but thou art possessed with a lying spirit. And ye have put off the Spirit of God, that it may have no place in you. But the devil has power over you, and he doth carry you about working devices, that he may destroy the children of God. Now, in boldness, Korihor says these words. He says, if thou wilt show me a sign, that I may be convinced that there is a God, yea, show unto me that he hath power, then will I be convinced of the truth of thy words. And Alma responds. He says, thou hast had signs enough. Will you tempt God? Will you say, show unto me a sign, when you have the testimonies of all these things, the testimony of all thy brothers and the holy prophets? The scriptures are laid before thee, and all things, and I love this, it says, all things that are upon, all things denote there is a God, yea, even the earth, and all things that are upon the face of it, and its motion, yea, and all the planets which move in their regular form, do witness that there is a supreme creator. And I've seen Christians use this same argument. Many Latter-day Saints saying, look at the heavens themselves, such organization. Oh, it is well organized. Planets move in their regular assigned patterns. The stars move according to their pattern. The whole universe is organized, has order. These cannot be by accident. Alma continues, and yet do ye go about leading away the hearts of the people, testifying unto them there is no God, that ye will deny against all these witnesses. And he said, I will deny except ye shall show me a sign. He's starting to dig in his heels. He's ready to stand and wait for that sign. Alma's response is, I am grieved because of the hardness of your heart, that ye will still resist the Spirit of truth, that thy soul may be destroyed. Now he says, and behold, Alma says, but behold, it is better that thy soul should be lost, than that thou shouldst be by the means of bringing many souls down to earth, by thy lying and by thy flattering words. Therefore, if thou shalt deny again, behold, God shall smite thee, that thou shalt become dumb, that thou shalt never open thy mouth any more, that thou shalt not deceive this people any more. Now, listen to the words of Korihor. This is prime. This is prime. I do not deny the existence of a God. Wait. Let's go back and read this. Where is it? Here, at the beginning of their conversation, Alma asked the question, believest thou there is a God? And he says, no. So here he is denying that there is a God. But here, where is it? Here it is. Verse 48 says, I do not deny there is existence of a God. So he's changed his tune from, yes, there is no God, I don't believe in no God, to there is, I'm not denying that there's a God. So he's changing his tune. He says, but I do not believe that there is a God. Wait, read that again. I do not deny there is an existence of a God, but I do not believe that there is a God. Am I seeing weird things, or is he basically saying, yeah, there is no God, and I don't believe there is? And he says, and I say also that ye do not know that there is a God, and except ye show me a sign, I will not believe. He is really digging in. And now Alma responds, this will I give unto thee for a sign that thou shalt be struck dumb. According to my words, I say that in the name of God ye shall be struck dumb, that ye shall no more have utterance. Now, when Alma said these words, he was struck dumb. He could not speak one word. Now, when the chief judge saw this, he put forth his hand and wrote unto Korihor, saying, art thou convinced of the power of God? In whom did ye desire that Alma should show forth his sign? Would ye that he should afflict others to show unto thee a sign? Behold, he has shown unto you a sign. And now will you dispute more? And Korihor wrote, I know I am dumb. I cannot speak. And I know that nothing, save it were the power of God, could bring this upon me. Yea, I always knew that there was a God. Verse 53. But behold, the devil hath deceived me. For he appeared unto me in the form of an angel, and said unto me, Go, and reclaim this people, for they have all gone astray after an unknown God. And he said unto me, There is no God. How can angels exist without a God? And he taught me what I should say. And I've taught his words. And they were pleasing unto the carnal mind, and I truly believe they were true, even until all this curse came upon me. Now, he looks to Alma and he says, if this curse would be taken from thee, or Alma says this, thou wouldst, he says, no, sorry, 54, he says, and he besought Alma should pray unto God that the curse might be taken from him. And Alma, through the power of God, says, if this curse would be taken from thee, thou wouldst again lead away the hearts of this people. Therefore it shall be unto thee, even as the Lord will. In other words, he's saying that God, if God wants to, he'll remove this curse from you. But if he doesn't, then yeah, it's pretty much stuck on you. So Korihor was cast out from among people, going home to home, door to door, begging for food. And then Korihor ended up going to the Zoramites. And these Zoramites separated themselves from Korihor, from the Nephites. And these are people who's led by a man named Zoram. And Korihor was trodden down until he was dead. Important lesson for the next verse. And thus we see the end of him who perverteth the ways of the Lord. And thus we see that the devil will not support his children at the last day, but doth speedily drag them down to hell. Christianity is under attack by Satan. Atheism is a modern religion, and they can deny it all they want. Modern atheism is a branch of Christianity, because you do not hear atheists talk against the Hindus or any other pagan religion. They come after the God of Israel. Why? Because he is the only true and living God. And Satan would rather have our souls dragged down to hell with him, because he knows he's not going to win. He knows he's not going to win. And so, stay close to the church. Stay close to the prophets. Join me again for tomorrow for another wonderful chapter. Now, this Saturday, I will not be making a video. My mom and brother are coming down to spend Saturday with me. They are coming to celebrate my birthday early. My birthday will be not tomorrow, but the following Wednesday. Believe it or not, this is actually the first time I've actually announced my birthday coming up. In many years, I've denied my birthday. I've never really celebrated it. So, so this Saturday I won't be making a video. So you guys, remember I love you guys. And it looks like we had lost another person. I looked this morning and we're back down to 134 subscribers. So that is very sad. And I am an elder in Israel. Sorry, brought up my channel. So, but yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening, and take care of yourselves. See ya.